Hello, everyone. This is indeed Three Dudes, One Zoom, powered by Anchor.fm. Thank you all for joining us. As always, listen to us on Anchor.fm, Spotify, watch, and listen to us, as always, on YouTube. For the latest updates on the show in the sports world, make sure you check us out on Twitter at Three Dudes, One Zoom. Make sure you use the numbers for that one, not the words. Tyler, Corey, how are you doing?
We're doing good.
So, go ahead.
We came off a good golf match, didn't we?
Yeah, I crushed you a little. See, and I played horrible. I beat you by 10 shots.
That's it?
I know.
Yeah,
I played horrible.
Worse.
I played horrible.
I played all right. It was one of my better games, but
getting better overall. Little C. There's a lot to build off of. Your stance is horrible. You look more like a tripod than a golf player when you're out there. But we're gonna work on it tomorrow night when we watch the NASCAR race together, because NASCAR returned to us last Saturday. Let's see, did you like that? How I spun it into the.
It was good. Good transition.
Compliment. That was pretty good. NASCAR returned last Sunday. Triumphant return, I must say. It did great numbers if I can load them up quickly. NASCAR had 6.3 million viewers, which was the most watched sport event of the weekend. It beat The Last Dance, which had 5.6. You want the top five?
Yeah.
Number one was the NASCAR race, as Tyler Snapchats me in the middle of the podcast. The second was The Last Dance at 5.6. The TaylorMade Golf Driving Relief, that was a charity event that golfers did on NBC, did 2.3. At fourth, with 2 million viewers, the WWE. And fifth was the UFC with 1.2 million.
Wait. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Those are the five most watched. But we'll focus on NASCAR, and I'll just list off topics, and we'll touch on all of them. The main things I took away from the race is Harvick's domination. Hendricks did recover after two guys got knocked out. Jimmy Johnson, horrendous incident. Rookies did really good. Truex and Kenseth, we'll touch on all of them. Tank, what's your overall thoughts on the race?
I think my prediction was spot on, so I'm happy with it. I think it was a great race.
Our prediction?
Whatever.
It was our prediction.
I thought it was a great race. I thought everyone performed pretty well. I thought it was going to be a little bit more rusty. I think Ricky Stenhouse wrecking on the first lap. I think he will lose his ride.
He should have
horrendous driver.
He should have lost his cup ride a long time ago.
Yeah, I think it shows how bad a driver you are and how antsy you are on the first lap on a green track that you're gonna come around turn two, not even make the first lap, and run into a guy and completely wreck your car and trash for the rest of the night. I think he did come back, but
I don't know. I'm a big believer, though. If you notice a guy who's been around a long time, his only wins are at super speedways, where it's restricted plate racing. He tends not to be good because those tend to be luck of the draft and luck of the draw.
Luck of the draw, yeah.
It's like the guys like Harvick that can win at Darlington. Those are the guys that are actually.
Harvick just dominated.
Harvick was great.
How many laps did he lead? That was like 3/4 of the race.
It was a majority of the
170 laps. It's ridiculous.
He dominated. He definitely. I know early on a major advantage Harvick had was having that first pit stop.
Yeah, huge.
A little note, little C will be dormant for most of this conversation. If he wants to interject, he can feel free.
I do though. How did Newman do?
I don't even know where he finished.
I don't know how he finished. Let's see.
I can get it right now. Newman finished 15th. So he started at 21st.
Good, bad.
All right. It's about where Newman is. He's probably like the fifth. He's around the middle of the pack driver, 15th best. So makes sense for him, especially his return after. You probably have some hesitation coming back, like you're not as sharp as other guys. But he did have an advantage of running Darlington in a test before any of the other guys, because that's where NASCAR made him take his concussion test, was Darlington. So, you could argue he did have an advantage, but I would argue he probably didn't, because it's still.
I don't know. I think experience had to do with it. I don't even know. Even the top five. You only got three guys in there that are veterans: Harvick, Busch, Hamlin. Chase Elliott and Baldwin.
Well, Elliott's
younger guys.
But Elliott's run enough laps there where I think he's like.
I'm just saying, they're still younger guys, not as much experience as Harvick, Busch, and Hamlin.
For sure. And one thing I do want to highlight, actually, the thing that shocked me is the rookies, Tyler Reddick and John Hunter.
Tyler Reddick is a great driver.
I know he is, but John Hunter Nemechek looked like a veteran going around Darlington. He had no problem. He ended up finishing ninth.
Ninth, yeah.
Which.
In a car that's not, it's an underfunded team,
For sure. I was like Reddick, I expect him to have good races, but
he's a good driver. I didn't think he was that good. He was running that high line and he's a great driver. I didn't expect that much.
But that's
funny looking dude.
Excuse me. I do agree. I'm going to choke.
It's coughing up a lung over here.
Corona, sorry, it's exposed to a lot of people. But Reddick, you do expect to see that. It was nice to see it at one of the tougher tracks in NASCAR. John Hunter Nemechek, I thought, really stepped up there and is going to, he introduced himself to the Rookie of the Year race with that race.
I think he's a good driver. Yeah.
I thought he sucked before this, and I didn't
think he sucked, but
I don't think you can suck and run that good at Darlington ever.
Darlington's a very hard track.
If you suck at Darlington, you end up like Ricky Stenhouse,
who finished in dead last.
Yeah. We'll touch on the Jimmy Johnson. I thought he might have had the best car. He was leading early, really good. I think arguably if you finished the race, I think it would have been him and Harvick at the end. But I don't know what happened. He blamed it all on himself. I don't know if he thought that car was coming up slower. Well, I think that too. But I don't know if he thought that car was coming up slower, or if he thought he wasn't going to come with that much momentum. But it's just bad luck leading the race. It's
for such a veteran driver.
It looked like, I forget who was in front, Bush or someone, slowed up, and Jimmy Johnson just didn't. He expected a car being much faster than that in front of him, because it looked like he was going to come off the turn and go low and go just coast across. And then when he came up and he went to go low, he realized he didn't have as much space.
Enough room, yeah.
But it was honestly, it's a rookie mistake to not give yourself enough room to make that. And you really Jimmy Johnson is in 12th place in points right now, which isn't a playoff spot. But that was a big opportunity to kind of have him back in the playoffs and legitimately contend for a win. That he blew it. He messed it up. Any other thoughts on Jimmy Johnson? Because I have a good segue to my next topic.
Nah, I don't like Jimmy Johnson. I was happy to see him wreck.
Take a drink. Anything good on TV right now? So one thing that was Jimmy Johnson was fast. All the Hendricks drivers there was one point they were 4, 5, 6, and 7 in the running order. Hendrick overall as a team had the fastest cars.
Yeah,
they were lights out.
2, 4.
And then Byron and Jimmy Johnson wrecked. Jimmy Johnson was 37. Yeah. They recovered strongly to get those 2 top 10s because when their 2 best cars went out early, Chase Elliott struggled to start, but he eventually worked his way back up into the top 10 and able to finish 4th, which is really good for Hendricks because they've been the best probably team overall.
Yeah, Toyota was, and I don't know what happened this year. If they changed body styles, last
year Toyota had the new body style, and they were the best car by far. The aerodynamics on it. Chevrolet's the new body style this year. Chevy's just way better than Toyota. So they fixed all the problems they had against the Toyotas. That's why, especially Hendricks is really fast this year. What's the other? Martin Truex Jr. I want to talk about for a second because he had before the whole pandemic lockdown and all that. He was really struggling, and Truex is in 11th in points, I think.
Did he win last year?
Yeah, the championship.
Yeah. Was that 2 years ago?
2 years ago. Who won it last year? I ain't blinking. This is really embarrassing. Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
Kyle Busch won it. Martin Truex Jr. really struggled early in the race too, but he was able to work up. I think
Harvick's leading in points.
Harvick is leading in points.
Oh wow, yeah.
The top 10 in points right now is the 4, the 88, the 22, the 9, the 2, the 11, the 10, the 12, the 21, and the 10.
Matt Benedetto's way up there too.
Yeah, the 21's been good. That's a good car. That's a good car.
Finished 14th. He was in.
Truex late in the race had a wheel vibration, which I thought was going to cost him. But Truex worked his way up from way back in the pack all the way up to 10th, I think might have been his highest. He may have got up to 8 or 9. He finished 11th, I think. I don't know. Yeah. Where is he in the points? He's because he sucked to begin. He's
11th in point. Sorry, not 11th.
That was that's where he finished at Darlington.
He's also 11th in the standings.
In standings. But he really struggled for a normal Martin Truex to begin the year. And I think it was nice to see him kind of work his way, fight his way through, and hopefully this can be a turning point for him. Little fun fact about Martin Truex Jr. He's from New Jersey.
Go ahead.
That was the fun fact. He's from New Jersey? Marietta, I think. About 2 hours from us, from the home of the pod. About 2 hours. But it's the state next to us, so I thought that was pretty good. My final thought on the race, so Little C can feel involved in this podcast and not get distracted.
No, you're good.
Matt Kenseth makes his return in the 42, taking over for Kyle Larson. He is insanely good at driving a race car.
Yeah, well, to be fair, he didn't take off from racing.
But he didn't drive Cup, and he had a return at Darlington against the best drivers.
It's a very difficult track to come back on and perform as well as he did.
It shows why he was he has the one championship, but it shows why he was around for so long.
Yeah.
And he's so respected by everyone.
Talented driver.
Kenseth, honestly, it's I think he might get looked at if he wants to, a couple-year deal. Because he's not that old. He's in his early 40s, a little younger than Junior right now.
It's not that old for now. What's
I thought he's 48.
Is he 48? I saw some. Oh, you know what?
If I'm not wrong, I think he's 48.
I might have just confused his age with his car number. Because I said he was 42.
That's possible.
I just saw. That might be on me right now. 48.
Yeah, he's 48.
Okay,
yeah,
so that's old. Yeah. Okay,
but I mean, how long did
The big question is, what's his car number?
42.
That's where I got 42.
Forever
from.
It was 20.
Indeed, it was. But that was before Kyle Larson used the racial slur and got banned.
Come on, now we got to bring it up.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you make stupid decisions and say stupid things.
Yeah, they brought it up a bunch of times in the race, and I was like,
well, yeah, but I mean,
you don't want NASCAR to be blundered by it, but yet you keep bringing it up.
You can't run away from it, though. And there's a lot of traditional market people, non-traditional markets that watch this race that did great numbers in non-traditional markets. You want them to be aware of it. So I think NASCAR did a wonderful job in handling the situation.
I think the whole broadcast is great. They barely showed the stands, and I think Gordon and
Mike Joy
did a great job.
The only time it was weird not having fans was when he got out of the car for Victory Lane.
I purposely didn't watch that because of that.
Because he got out of the car and it was silent.
Yeah, I didn't watch it because of that.
But it was I don't know. It wasn't bad because I think after a few races, we're kind of going to get used to it a little bit. So it won't be too bad, especially with them racing 7 races in 11 nights. There is a race going on right now. It's supposed to be. It was in a weather delay.
No, I think it got delayed.
What's that, Xfinity?
It's in a weather delay last I heard. It was supposed to be on Fox Sports 1. But it's good to see the Xfinity guys get back out there. There's going to be a lot of race talk in the next couple of weeks. You can see Little C smile as he's
They
frozen.
Postponed it.
Postponed to,
yeah.
I don't know. So we'll see when they're racing. Did you see the part with the banner that got ripped out of the side?
Wait. A little embarrassing.
Little C's a little frozen.
So they had a banner for.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
I got you.
They had a banner for what was it was some ad.
Blue Emu. And it's like a vape.
Blue Emu, yeah. So they hit it. Someone scraped it and.
I think it was Busch. I think they saw it was Kyle Busch, which proves.
And then it really affected Denny Hamlin. I thought the real veteran move to get up behind him and get it sucked off of his car.
I was stunned that Ford helped the Toyota though. Boyer helped him get it off.
I don't think Boyer helped him. I think he ran into him. It was no.
No, I don't know the way they.
Boyer had the slower car.
But Boyer was looking. I don't know. I think
Boyer had the slower car.
But
and
I still think
Hamlin
his spotter knew it. I think if his spotter would be like, don't help Hamlin, like zigzag, do something, avoid him,
Yeah, but you're gonna
because his car was blowing up. His car was
it was 292 before it got out. 292 degrees.
That's what happened to him in the championship race.
Normal riding temperature is like 220.
Oh, I'm aware. It was about to blow up. The inside of the car was all flashing red. That is not good.
Yeah,
red is danger. I learned that young in life. Overall, great race. They will race again tomorrow night at 7. Did I say 7 or 7:30 earlier? Whatever 7. I said earlier. 7?
7.
Just so everyone, because we'll probably have millions of people listening to this for our takes on NASCAR. So the people that don't know, tomorrow, again, no practice, no qualifying. So what they will do is they are in Burden 1 through 20 from the finish Sunday. 21 to 40 will stay the same. So Jimmy Johnson has to start 37th and work his way back. Kevin Harvick will start 20th. Ryan Preece on the pole to take the checkered flag. Or not the
Who's favorite?
Flag. Harvick's still probably going to be the favorite because he'll probably waste his way.
I'd like to see where Jimmy Johnson goes.
Wait, throw your predictions.
I will take Chase Elliott in the 9. I think he really showed himself working up. He got a real good feel of the track. Completely different race than Sunday. It's a night race. Chase Elliott, his car tends to look cooler at night than in the day, except the Hooters car. I think the orange plays better in the sunlight.
Now, what's the weather going to be like?
It's raining there tonight.
Tomorrow.
It's raining tonight, which usually race weather It stays for 1 day. I learned that. I doubt it's raining in Darlington tomorrow. Lil C's going to look that up. But I am taking Chase Elliott. Tank, who are you taking? Same cars, most likely. Same setup, unless someone does a drastic change in 3 days.
No, it looks good for tomorrow. So
yeah. Harvick is. They said he might run the same body. They're not. They'll just swap out engines. I heard that. So he'll have the same body he finished with. Tank.
Hot take. I want to take Reddick.
Reddick ain't winning.
JJ.
But
Tyler Reddick.
I want to go Kurt Busch.
Jimmy Johnson has a top 5 finish. That's my.
I say
take.
Jimmy Johnson has top 5.
Okay,
I think Reddick has a top. I think Reddick has a top 5 finish. There's my hot take.
Okay, my real hot take: John Hunter Nemechek goes back-to-back top 10s. That's what I'm saying. So NASCAR's
hot take. Kenseth wins it.
Hot take. We're done with hot takes because you know what we're doing right now. NASCAR came back. Last Dance finished Sunday. Good final episodes. We've now moved to more Lil C-centric commentary. I
missed it and didn't watch it. Been working all day.
So we saw the end of the dynasty where definitely you saw Jordan's influence on the editing. Little C, what did you think of episodes 9 and 10?
I thought it was really good. Great way to close out this great documentary. Love the Dennis Rodman, Hulk Hogan, the whole WCW thing. But yeah, I want to see more documentaries like this by ESPN on different teams and players and whatnot. Because they did a really good job on it.
There's similar, great ones. There's 30 for 30s on, the Bad Boys.
Yeah.
There's other stuff, but it's not, newer stuff for sure. It definitely was nice to have an escape to watch some other than pandemic news.
I legit, look forward to it every week.
There's still more 30 for 30s after now. Bruce Lee, Lance Armstrong.
There's going to be one on Sosa and McGuire's chase.
And Sosa and McGuire, yep.
The one thing that, afterwards, once it was done, I'm like, they could have done one episode a night and spanned this over 10 weeks.
Yeah.
I thought
I would have rather, but
the 10, I get why they did it like that, because then it's boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And it was originally planned to air after the finals, after each one of the games. So they kind of made so they made it so it would fit within the 7-game series. But I don't know, I really enjoyed it. Some things I took away with it. I hate Reggie Miller still. I don't like him as a commentator. I don't like him as a commentator.
It was a debate.
He's a great player.
Former Nick killer.
That's a fact.
A lot of people are former Nick killers.
He did that to Spike Lee.
There was a debate I saw on Twitter. It was who would you rather have, Reggie Miller or Klay Thompson? I'm like, Klay Thompson.
Klay Thompson, much better defender.
You think Klay Thompson going to be Hall of Famer?
Yeah, no doubt. Klay Thompson, he's one of the best shooters the league's ever seen.
You think that he's better than Miller?
Yeah.
How
many years was he actually relevant?
I think Klay Thompson.
3?
Yeah,
Klay? 4?
He's still relevant. He was hurt last year. Towards ACL.
We'll see how he comes back from injury.
Klay is so good, bro. I think
he's a great player, but
Klay is the one person in the league who I think can match up with Jordan and kind of hold him. I think Klay is that good of a player. No, it's the worst take I ever heard.
Take. That's
Klay could lock down Jordan.
Clay's really good, but
Klay is
I would
so
take Miller
good.
in a heartbeat. If you put Reggie Miller where Clay's
a Hall of Famer. Clay's one of the greatest three-point shooters. Sorry, Lil C.
You know what's great about this documentary? It shows how many Hall of Famers MJ just didn't get a ring.
That's a fact.
Legendary players who just don't have rings.
Because of one
I think
guy.
It was 20 Hall of Famers and 133 players, something like that.
Out of the 90s, Olajuwon got a ring. That's the only.
I wish they kept that team together and then they played the Spurs, as we were talking earlier. I think that would be.
You think they would have got 7 if Jackson stayed and they could stay together?
You don't think so?
I think
who won it the year after?
After the Bulls?
After Jordan retired
99.
And Jackson left and everything.
90. I don't know who won it the year after.
Let me see.
But that Spurs team was so good. They went 15-1.
San Antonio.
Steve Kerr
went. San Antonio?
Yeah, they went back to back. I was going to say that, but I didn't want to be wrong. Steve Kerr left the Bulls and joined those Spurs. He won 4 straight. He won 4 or 5. 4. I think he left after he retired or something like that.
I didn't know any of that with his dad too. That's
perfect. Wait, I was about to bring that up.
In 2000, the Lakers won it.
Who won 99?
Spurs.
98. Oh yeah, then Phil Jackson with the Lakers won 3. Steve Kerr, the whole part on his father, blew my mind. I never heard the details of it. For those that didn't get a chance to see as we're talking about it, Steve Kerr's father was a teacher in the American University of Beirut in the 70s and 80s when there was unrest there, and he was assassinated. He was one of the head professors, and Steve Kerr was in college at Arizona. And that's kind of what drove his basketball drive.
He's clutch, too.
He's 45% overall.
The highest
45% from the 3-point. That's ridiculous.
That's the highest in the history of the NBA. 3-point shooter with
is 45.2%. That's ridiculous.
I think out of 1,000 attempts, he has, or no, 1,000 or 100. It's whatever the metric is to measure it. He has the highest percentage. Did someone just walk in the room? You're acting a little funny.
Klay Thompson's percentage is 0.419.
Klay's really good. So that's
Steve
42%.
0.454.
I would take Reggie Miller in a heartbeat.
I would want someone else.
I don't know about a heartbeat, but I think I'm taking Reggie
Klay
Miller.
is so good. I don't know where this
great. I am not denouncing that. Klay Thompson is a great player.
Because in the sports world, if you say one player is better than the other, you said that person is the greatest ever play and the other player sucks. That's
not what I said. I already said that, to be clear. Klay Thompson is a great player.
Like, if you believe Jordan's better than LeBron, you're saying LeBron sucks. Haven't you learned this?
I also don't like
LeBron see your tweet, Teets?
He did see my tweet.
Are you waiting for a response?
He's a coward. He won't. He will not respond.
Steph Curry's 3-point percentage is higher than
Klay is a better player than Steph Curry. Is that a hot take anymore? Or does everyone just accept that?
Yeah, just accept that.
Okay. No, it's the worst take ever. I went to bring this up earlier, but then we got sidetracked by some. Max Kellerman said in the clutch he would rather have Andre Iguodala take the shot than Steph Curry. And I just think Max
Kellerman. Anyone else on that team, he picked Andre Iguodala.
I think they were comparing the two.
Oh, I was going to say, because he could have picked other players than that, too.
I saw a video, and
Klay
to
Thompson.
be fair, hey, I just want to clarify this. I saw it on Twitter. If it was edited to make Max Kellerman look bad, I'm sorry, but it looked real to me. But it was unreal when I heard that. It's like Stephen A. He was saying how Curry was like clutch, and he came through, which is true if you watch plays. He has. But it's like, I don't know. Max Kellerman, he's crazy. But first take with the hot takes.
I want to see a documentary with Gretzky as a Ranger when he ended his career.
That'd be boring.
Just because it's Gretzky.
There's better stories with the Oilers, like when they broke the Stanley Cup.
Well, you could just do a 30 for 30 on Gretzky.
They did. It's called King's Ransom. The best 30 for 30 ever done, a King's Ransom. I hate you, Lucy. I don't know why.
Wait, what's that?
I didn't hear what you said, but I feel like I should hate you.
What's that?
The best 30 for 30 is a King's Ransom. It's Gretzky being traded from the Oilers to the Kings. That's one of the best 30. It might be the best 30 for 30. Little C, if there's a team that you could, you've never seen it? Oh, it's so.
I don't really watch 30 for 30s that much.
There's so.
I've seen a few. I've seen a handful, but I haven't seen.
What's my great 30? A King's Ransom's great. Of Men and Miracles. Of Miracles and Men. That's of the Miracle on Ice. What?
You're just gonna ask me a question.
Yeah, I know, but I got distracted. I'll get to the question. I didn't forget Lil C. What's another? This Magic Moment is great about the Magic in the 90s. It is a great song. The song plays.
We should have Tank watch the Bobby Ryan thing.
The Bad Boys.
Because that's crazy.
I sent it to him. The Bobby Ryan thing. Did you see that? Okay, never mind. That expression tells me all I need to know.
His eyes just went wide open.
I remember you sending it to me, and I don't remember.
Oh, it's crazy. You gotta watch
great.
it.
We'll talk about it another day.
It's insane.
There's another. The Bad Boys is a great 30 for 30. I thought the one on the Lakers-Celtics rivalry was too long. The one on Bo Jackson was great.
I watched the one on Allen Iverson.
That's a good one. Oh, they're so good. There's a lot of good. There's 30 for 30s. I'm going to keep just naming every 30 for 30, so we'll move on. Little C, if there's one team that you could watch a documentary like this on.
I like what you said when we were talking about this another day. I like what you said with the Blackhawks. That would be their dynasty. Because a lot of shit went down with them too.
And there was
behind the scenes that It's crazy.
You had Kaner all the Kaner stuff beating up a taxi cab driver.
And then you have
rape,
Sharp and wives just like
liking other people's wives.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think the Blackhawks would be cool.
I'm trying to think. Kobe.
Everyone's saying Kobe lately. I think the Garnett Celtic team would be interesting.
Yeah. Nasty team.
That I love that team.
I
hate
Garnett.
I hate the Celtics, but I like that Celtic team.
I did. Paul Pierce, Garnett, and
Allen.
Ray Allen, right?
Michael Jordan would want to see one on how the Bulls haven't won anything since he left. I like how he put at the end and the rebuild.
Who's the best player that's played for them since MJ left? Derrick Rose?
Probably won an MVP that year. That's who
I
thought
of. Jay Butler, yeah.
Jimmy Butler. Maybe.
I hot Rose take Joakim Noah, duh.
Or I was going to say that, was it Denzel Valentine? Maybe not. The Michigan State kid. What's his first name? Played at Michigan State, then he went to the Bulls. Never mind. He was good in college. Valentine.
A lot of people are good in college.
Every NBA player was good in college. Fun fact.
LeBron wasn't.
Yeah, that's why he sucks. Go to college, get a degree. It's true. I hate it.
Unless you're an NBA player, and you're gonna make.
Or if you're a European, like Tony Kukoc. What's it called? Did I have another topic? Yeah, we did. Go ahead. What's your final thoughts?
I was just gonna ask you guys, who was your favorite? Who do you guys like the most out of that documentary?
Hold on. Before we get to that, little C, there's a point that I just forgot about. That I remember. Gus Letts, who's like Jordan's guy, who when his father died, took over the father figure. I found this backstory on him. He got cancer and eventually, I think he passed away from cancer. Jordan paid for all of his medical treatments. And when they won the ring that year, he gave him the ring to have. So people that say Jordan isn't great, it's to the people he loves, there's no one, nothing Jordan.
I saw something on Instagram, I think. It's if you're in Michael's inner circle, you're set for life. Your family, he'll do anything for you. I forget who he said did that. The guy with the curly hair and the glasses, part of the security team, his son.
Yeah,
his son said that.
Go ahead, Lucy.
Let's forget about my question because we got not that much time left. I want to talk about this last topic. So.
Okay, one other thing is amazing how at the end Jordan was talking about his 7th championship that he wanted to win and not the 6th that he won. I thought that was interesting. So the big news topic of the day is the Rooney Rule got adjusted. Which it's a very controversial rule in the NFL. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Some people think it's useless. I fall in the latter category. Not that useless. It's ineffective. But just so the update is teams will now be required to interview at least 2 candidates from outside their organization for any vacated head coaching job and at least 1 minority candidate from the outside their organization for any vacant offensive, defensive, special teams coordinator job. Previously, it only required 1 minority for a head coach and none for a coordinator. Currently, the NFL has 4 minority head coaches and 2 minority general managers. Tank, your thoughts on the Rooney Rule edition?
They also shelved the pick. If you hire one, the pick, they put it on the shelf for now. I just think it's useless.
Hold on. I don't know. Hold on. Sorry, Tank. But Goodell said it's on the shelf not because it didn't have support, but they think it needs to be tweaked. But they said there's overwhelming support for a rule like that. But go ahead, Tank.
I think it's ridiculous, though. I'll make my point on the pick and then back. Mm-hmm. If you are a minority coach and you're hired, if I'm a minority coach and I'm hired, now my thought process is, did they pick me just to get a pick?
That's true.
And I think that's not fair to the coach. I think it's not fair to the team. I think it's ridiculous how it's even going to be perceived, because if that goes into effect, I think every single coach that's hired is going to be like, I was just hired for a pick, and I don't see how that's fair to the coach.
So you could just hire someone, get that pick, draft a player, and then just fire the guy? And the pick.
Well, you have a contract. I don't think you can just fire him. Essentially, you can sign him to a 1-year contract, and then after that year, you got your pick, you used him up, which I think is ridiculous.
Go ahead, Lucy.
I just don't think that any sport league, whether it's the NFL, no matter what, should have because if you make a rule where you bring someone's like race and ethnicity into it. It's just like you're gonna piss people off no matter what, and that's just
I just
like
don't
politics.
understand why it has to be an issue. Why you have to interview? Like, I don't understand. Like, there's in nowadays time, I don't understand why it has to be a rule.
You
I
should
don't
just
know
hire
why.
the coach.
You're
that,
hiring the
like-
coach. You're gonna go through an interview process. You're gonna pick the guy that you think is gonna be right. Whether
Exactly.
he's black, white, yellow, what's the difference? I don't understand like why we have to have
If
these.
it's really a difference, just blindfold the guy.
Yeah, like I just don't see how there's in 2020 there's this much controversy over whether you're black, white, or yellow.
You should.
Like what? I don't see how the color of your skin's gonna make it matter.
Okay, so like I totally like. I think Tank, you made a great point. It's like the drawback of the Rooney Rule is, especially in a situation where there's incentives involved, you don't want to ever. The point of the rule is not to use minority, black, African, Latino coaches. You want to encourage them to be hired, and that's why I think the Rooney Rule, on the essence of the intent of the rule, is a good rule, because you want to give them. You're giving them the chance, because there was definitely an era in sports, which is undeniable, where
I agree.
Minorities, coaches, and general, like there's Campanis, I think, was the Dodger coach, who's like, yeah, they're great players and all, but they can't be leaders. And that was definitely a stereotype that was all throughout. Not just
How long
baseball,
ago was that though?
70s, I think. 80s.
Yeah, it's 20. It's 20.
40 years
ago.
But there's definitely still practices you see, like Donald Sterling owning the Clippers, where owners are still
Yeah,
very
then he
much.
got fired. Like he lost.
I
his job,
understand,
as
but
he should.
there's no doubt when you have 80-plus-year-old men owning these organizations that some of these feelings aren't just things. So it's good to have rules where you're encouraged to give people a chance. And I think it's good to give these minorities the opportunity to prove themselves when sometimes you worry they may not be. I do see a legitimate problem with giving teams the incentive to hire them. I think you need to hire coaches based off their merit. I think it's the intention of the rule to give everyone
I
a
think
chance
you're right. I think the
is great.
there.
I think but the issue with the rule, and let's be realistic, the rule has not been effective. If you want to increase black hiring or minority hiring of coaches, it hasn't worked, because there's only 4 coaches in the league.
So who do you leave? Todd Bowles? Is he even still? He's not even he's not a head coach anymore.
I probably can't even name the head coach. I can't name half the head coaches in the league right now, so I'm not.
The guy Carolina.
Tomlin's still there, right?
Tomlin.
I thought
Is he
Ron
still
Rivera was
Carolina
fired.
anymore?
No, I don't think
Rivera.
so.
Oh yeah, shit.
Marvin Lewis, believe it or not, was fired.
Was fired, yeah.
Eventually, but it's just the thing is, it's like you never want someone to be used. And with incentives, I feel like inevitably, at some point, eventually, someone's going to get used, like Tank was mentioning. So the Rooney Rule, giving these opportunities to minority, it's a great thing. And it's like definitely should be encouraged to a point, and leads to a point where we no longer need this rule. Eventually, you want to be able to, like, people forget about the Rooney Rule, because there's definitely your candidates you're interviewing the whole field, so you know who's available for everyone. You're not like saying like, I want these 3 people, because what they're trying to get rid of too, and it's definitely a problem in the NFL specifically, a lot of coaches are terrible. There's a lot of bad coaching in the NFL, and there's definitely a higher amount of coaches that are white, and a lot of coaches, it's like you find out like they're good friends with the GM, and he's hooking them up with a coordinator's job and all that. So I feel like in eradicating that, like buddies hooking up buddies, you're going to overall improve the coaching quality by bringing in. Because let's be real, different minority, different cultures, as I've crossed close to that line of racial insensitivity, you're going to get different viewpoints, and you're going to find new ways to play the game.
But like, for my point, like for the Rooney Rule, like you're giving them an opportunity. I understand that, but if you got your buddy in there and you're just interviewing a minority, a Latino, and a black coach, you're just interviewing him just to say that you did that interview, and you're just gonna go hire the other guy anyway. Like I don't see how it's that effective.
It just wastes people's time.
As you made the point that there's not that many.
I'm a firm believer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think the NFL should plant people, and if they think that's the case, they should remove ownership and general managers. If you interview someone and don't, you can give someone a fair shake. Once if you bring in this guy and you're just like, oh, we got to fill the Rooney Rule quota.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
And it's like, but then you don't give him a fair shake, and he turns out to be a really good coach. You know? It's like, I think you're not doing your job as a GM. I think it shows poor leadership to not give everyone that comes in there a fair shake. So I think the NFL, if they want to make a rule, it should be cracking on anyone that just brings them in to fill a quota. Everyone that sits in that chair has football experience, needs to be given a
Absolutely,
fair
but you
shake.
see where I'm coming from to see that where that could easily be.
So an expansion to the Rooney Rule, it's like, I think this expansion is fine. Like, it interviews more quiet, but now you need to make sure these guys are given a fair shot and they're heard out. Because I think a lot of people go look at job interviews for just a job at some random store. It's like people come in and they're like, oh, their buddy can come in. And yeah, they're probably more likely to get a job. But if some random person of any ethnicity comes in and blows them away, then they're going to become the favorite. And it's like, you need to like give these guys a fair chance. That's the point of the Rooney Rule. Right. I hope it continues.
It's going to make people mad no matter what, as every rule does, really. So.
But you know what cures all things, little C? Winning.
What?
So if they bring in,
you know what else cures it?
What?
Presents. And who likes presents?
That'd be that guy, Tyler Arnold. As we wrap up our episode here pretty quick because we're running out of time, thank you all for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Listen to us always most importantly on Anchor.fm, which powers this podcast, on Spotify, which all 3 dudes, 1 Zoom, look us up. Follow us on Twitter. You'll get live links to the show, live updates about what's going on. Little C, make sure you promote the show. At 3 dudes, sir. 1 Zoom, use the numbers for that. You can also watch us, which some people just found out. And yeah, it's a little disturbing, but it's an opportunity. So make sure you enjoy, guys. Say goodbye, guys.
Peace.